Hello and welcome to HCS Imagination. Today we'll be learning how to process your raw footage on Photoshop. So let's get started. Before starting this tutorial, I just want to tell you that this image I had taken in Cubbon Park around 4 years back. It's in Bangalore. So I had done a post processing for this image 4 years back, but if I look back at that image, I don't feel that good. I mean, there were a lot of mistakes which I had done, which a lot of beginners do while processing the images. So I'll just note down few. So this is the original raw image. So if you just go back, so this was the image which I had processed around 4 years back. Uh, but when I look back and see this image, there are a lot of issues. For example, let me just take a brush and just reduce the size of the brush around. Okay, so mm, if you see the first of all, the image, the complete image is oversaturated. This doesn't look natural at all. In addition to that, if you see the branches over here are have green shades, but which is not real. And even the subject over here have little bit of green shades, which is not correct. And also the sleeves are too bright. The ground is really bad. Even I mean, the entire image looks oversaturated, and too many unwanted greens are there in this particular image. So what we'll do is we'll use the same image and we'll try to edit it much, I mean, in a better way. So let's just do it. So first of all, I'll just get this image and drag and drop it to Photoshop. Okay, so whenever you're trying to open a raw image on Photoshop, you'll get this raw plugin, and so I have previously worked on the same image, so it's showing me all the settings which I had used before. So I'll just reset to the defaults. Okay, so this is the ground zero of the image. So we have not done any retouching, any processing to it. So let's just start with the basics first. Okay, then we'll go on advanced level. So first of all, basic, the first thing is on exposure. So let's add a little bit of exposure, not much. Okay, a little bit, around 4 points is fine, 0.4 points. And contrast, just increase a little bit, not much. And there is a trick for highlights. I think if you have seen my previous videos, I've told the the videos were on Snapseed, but the same rule goes even on Photoshop. Always reduce your highlights because the details in the image will pop out. So for example, if I just increase the highlights, you can see over here a lot of information in the image which has been gone now. So if you reduce it, the highlights, not don't reduce it completely because you'll get a lot of uh, colors, which are a lot of unwanted colors. So just keep it in the mid. Okay, and shadows, always reduce your shadows to get back the lights. If you so this is getting darker, so I'll just increase a little bit of whites and make a little bit of adjustments to our blacks. This looks good. Okay, let me just fit this. Okay, then textures, we won't overdo it because see the image gets really sharpened. So we'll just add a little bit of texture around 6 points and a little bit of clarity around 6 points, that's fine. Vibrance, we'll add a little bit of vibrance just to get back. So this is just keep around 14, and saturation around. So if you can see the retouching which I've done previously and the retouching which I've done now, there's a huge difference. Okay, so let's go to curves now. So curves, we will just we'll just create a small, we'll just create 3 anchor points on the curves adjustment, and we'll try to create a small S. Okay, this looks good. Greens, if you want to play around with greens, if you want to reduce the greens, but I don't think we need to do that, so we'll keep this greens untouched. Okay, and let's see what do we have. Sharpness, we'll just sharpen the image a little bit. Color mix. So here you have a small I button, so you can just see which effects have done what. Okay, so we have color mixture here, so we can just control each and every color. The hue of just reduce the hue of green a little bit, giving it a morning look. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we've already achieved what you wanted. So other adjustment and other settings we will do it on Photoshop. So once you are happy with your first edits, just click on Open Object. So this particular image opens up in Photoshop. So here we have our photo in Photoshop opened so if we want to edit it, we can go ahead and make a few changes, add a little bit of brightness, and if you want to remove any particular thing from your image, you can just remove it. Another thing which Photoshop helps us working with our raw images, these complete compositions are non-destructive. Non-destructive means I can go anytime in while editing, I can go back to the raw filter and make the adjustments. As you can see, there is a small icon next to my image. This represents that this is a smart object. So if I double click on this particular icon, so my camera raw filter opens again, so I can just make whatever adjustments I want and then click OK. So these will be saved on my raw image, and then I can go ahead and start editing. So this is the best thing why I prefer to use Photoshop for all my edits. Okay, next I like to give this image a little bit of dull look, so I've added a levels adjustment layer, and let me just slide this black and slide this. Okay, this gives a little bit of faded look to your image. Okay, so next thing is we will add a curves layer. And finally we'll add a vignette. So for vignette, make sure that your background and foreground color is black and white. Make sure that it's the background is on the black color is on the top, and and go to gradient. So select radial and reverse this particular thing. So it's created a spotlight. So we'll just change the angle and increase the scale. Okay. And then, so good thing about this is we can just change the focus anywhere we want, and then change this blending mode to soft light. So this gives a small subtle vignette look to your image. So this is we have okay. One final thing what we'll do is we'll just crop this image to 16:9 ratio, and then crop. Okay. And then, so yeah, this is the final output of the image. So in addition to all the settings, you can, so this is the before and this is the after. So we have given a kind of matte subtle look to our image. So we're done with all post-processing steps, but if you want to add a little bit of extra lens flare to your image, you can continue. And to add a lens flare, we will create a new layer and color it with black. Okay, and then we'll go to our filter, render, lens flare. We'll select the first one. The source of light is from here, so we'll just move our lens over there, then click on OK. So now we have got this lens flare, so we are changing the blending mode to linear dodge. Yeah, linear dodge. To linear dodge. Then what we can do is we'll just create a clipping mask. So if you want to know about clipping mask and how layer mask work, how layers work, you can just go to my other tutorial where I've done a detailed explanation on this topic. So we'll get a brush, keeping our foreground color black. We'll just start painting on those areas where we think the lens flare is not needed. Okay, so this gives your image a really subtle look, subtle lens flare look. Okay. So this was the before, this is the after. Yeah, I think we have our pretty well image. So yeah, so we started with this particular image and we are here. Okay, so yeah, we are almost done. So 4 years back my editing was like this, and now it's something like this. So this looks more realistic, this looks more natural. So we all go through that phase of when we start early, we do a lot of oversaturation and we do a lot of HDR effects, which is not that bad, but yeah, over a period of time you learn things, and you correct yourself. That's what I mean. In photography and Photoshop, you have every day is a new learning for you guys. So yeah, hope you like this video. If you like it, click on the like button, and if you're not subscribed to this channel, do subscribe. If you want to follow my work, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Unsplash, and both the links are in the description. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.